Hey you guys, John Britt here. Hey, I'm going to show you some stuff. It may take me a minute. This is a ewer that was fired with Selsor chun. I'm going to show you all the details here in a second. But it came out super fantastic, so I want to show you the cycles and everything. Just so you know, the history of this is I do these workshops and I'll do 4 different clay bodies of porcelain, light stoneware, and dark stoneware, and then very dark stoneware. So this is 266. This is all the same glaze. And so I decided, hey, I really like this. I'm going to now make some pieces. So I did. Now let me just show you, so in case you want to leave, this is the recipe that I used. And then here's what I did. I made it on 266 clay. I used some terracige over it. I'll show you what that does. Any terracige, but I use laterite. Then I bisque fired it in a slow cycle to burn out the sulfur. And that means like 100 degrees an hour from 13 to 17. That's the period where gases go off. Then I glazed it with Selsor chun, and I fired it on seashells. And here's the cycle. It's called stop and drop. This cycle here is called E1. But then I did stop and drop, which means you drop 100 degrees and hold. So you go from 22.25 to 21.25 and hold for 45 minutes. That's a Tony Hansen stop and drop. And then that's because what happens is if you don't, it gets some bubbles that are stuck in there. Anyway, let me show you this. Here's the clay body on the seashells, just as it is. That's what color it is. This is with the laterite terracige, so you can see it gives it a little bit of action, makes it look more interesting. So that's why I like using the terracige. Now, just to show you, you see how nicely all these came out, and they're even more. They're even more. See, here's the original tile. You see these pinholes in here, bubbles that are entrained in there. And then here's what it looked like. So that stop and drop made it very milky. And you get these, the reason I like this glaze is because you get a lot of this hanging drips like this. Or like down here, you get all these hanging drips. And so it looks like there's cobalt in here, but there's no cobalt in here. This is all just iron. All right, so now let me just show you another thing that happens. I fired these once to cone 6, E1, no stop and drop. Then they were real bubbly, so I reglazed them. And then I refired them to cone 5, so I didn't get too much dripping. And this is what I got. You can see that see how the glaze is not quite as white as over there. It's got streakies in it. And then this, you can see the application. I put the application on kind of unevenly so I could get some interesting things. Sometimes it's a little too monochromatic here like that. But anyway, so now let's go over here, and I think you can tell which of these tea bowls or cups was fired twice. So you can see how this is very just like kind of white. This one here, you can see it bleed through like this streakiness. So that's the story. You get all these kiln jewels also. And there you go. I think that should cover you. Keep you busy for a little while.